The Ministry of Education is responsible for providing high-quality educational services, as well as facilitating access to and participation in sports and recreation to enrich the lives of all residents of these Virgin Islands. Minister for Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, Honourable Sharie Castro, and her team of officials have been working diligently to carry out the mandate of her ministry. There has been many achievements in the sector, including the recent observation of the 80th anniversary of secondary education in the Virgin Islands. This milestone not only reflects the progress of education in the Virgin Islands, but underscores the government of the Virgin Islands' unwavering commitment to advancing education at home and in the region. Over the past 6 months since the government took office, Minister Castro and officials visited schools around the territory to interact and interface with school officials and to get, among other things, a full scope of the infrastructure and resources needed for the new school year.
So we took about 2 weeks and we strategically and methodically went and visited our schools across the territory, and we were able to get significant feedback that led us towards the goal of ensuring that we were more prepared for the start of the new school year. Another integral part of that in terms of ensuring that we have stakeholder interaction is a new initiative called Meet the Minister. And last school year, towards the end, we would have done Meet the Minister on the sister islands, so Virgin Gorda, Antigua, and Jos Van Dyke. And more recently, we did Meet the Minister in Tortola. And this is a session really where all teachers, primary, secondary teachers, have the opportunity to sit for 2 hours and interface and interact with me as minister, speak to the varying concerns that we have so that we can ensure that we take strategic steps as a ministry to be able to address those concerns in a timely and effective manner.
The Ministry of Education welcomed about 30 new trained teachers into its education system for this new school year. This was done to ensure that education in the territory is delivered in the effective way. The teacher education program was also relaunched.
The teacher education program relaunch speaks to the program being relaunched through the H. Community College, where individuals can go to the college and ultimately receive their associate degree in education. This program was stopped for quite some time. However, of course, given the challenges in securing teachers for the classroom, ultimately we need competent teachers, we need qualified teachers, which means we need to ensure that they get the relevant qualifications through the HW Community College. And so we've seen great interest from the populace in terms of registration for the education program, and we're extremely excited. Of course, our teacher recruits and our teacher trainees would be a part of that pool, but we've also seen additional persons showing significant interest in education. And so that, as minister, that really motivates me, because it tells me that persons are seeing what we are doing, and while persons may already be in a career path, they are considering teaching as a profession, and it is by far, in my opinion, the best profession. And so I welcome individuals who are interested to become a part of making a difference.
The ministry is implementing extracurricular activities as it seeks to move beyond the academic realm to youth and sports development. The reintroduction of government-funded after-school and summer school programs is crucial to providing children with additional support.
So integral to the ministry's mandate is ensuring that the Department of Youth Affairs and Sports is able to execute its programming. As minister, I gave a mandate to ensure that we returned the summer camps that used to take place in the past. They're integral. Over the summer months, children are disengaged and they're unattended in some instances, and they definitely are unchallenged. So what we wanted to ensure is that through the Department of Youth Affairs and Sports, we had the opportunity through the summer camps to put students in a position where they're able to engage with other students and learn and grow and develop during that critical period. And so we had the STEAM camp, we had the multi-sport camp, and we also had the youth summer camp that was able to engage a number of students across the Virgin Islands. We were able to keep this camp on all our islands, Tortola, Virgin Gorda, Antigua, and Jos Van Dyke. And we catered to 590 youth during the summer months, which was absolutely amazing. Funding was prioritized to ensure that this happens, and we want to do as much as possible to ensure that our young people are engaged at the times when they are not in school. Also critical to the mandate of the Department of Youth Affairs and Sports was the return of the after-school programs that started at the new school year in September. And this also was critical. As a student of the public school system, I engaged with these activities growing up, and I understand how critical and important they are in learning the additional skills that are very integral to support the content area development that takes place oftentimes during the day. And so the return of the after-school programs on all islands, at all public schools in the territory, signals the commitment of the government of the Virgin Islands in ensuring that our young people has access to additional resources to be able to show up their academic pursuits, but also engage in other areas through sports, through STEAM, to be able to ultimately develop the skills that are needed to help them progress in the future. So I am very pleased at the return of these two important facets and opportunities within the Department of Youth Affairs and Sports. And I want to truly commend the team and appreciate the support of the community in allowing their children to come and engage in these activities. We've gotten amazing feedback from both initiatives, and we look forward to the continued success of them.
The Let's Teach VI, a recruitment and retention initiative, was also reintroduced to recruit new, untrained, and inexperienced individuals into the teaching profession.
There's a worldwide problem. There's a teacher shortage. And the ministry had to be proactive in its vision and action in seeking to remedy this problem. And so we came up with the Let's Teach VI initiative, which has two portions, the teacher trainees and the teacher recruits. So teacher trainees are high school graduates who signal that they were interested in the field of education. They come in as a teacher trainee in the Ministry of Education. They are assigned at a school with a senior teacher, a mentor, and they have the ability to engage in underground teaching and learning and really get a first-hand understanding of the profession with some of the best in the field, so that they understand exactly what they're getting into. Also, simultaneously, they enroll at the H. Lavisseau Community College, where they're able to begin taking their college courses towards ultimately achieving an associate degree in education. And so the teacher trainee program, it did exist years ago. We've brought it back, we've reimagined it and revised it, because when you consider the number of persons who currently sit at the top of the hierarchy of education, you consider some of our principals, some of our administrators in the ministry, we see that they would have come into the system as teacher trainees, and through the years they've grown, they've developed, they've upskilled themselves, and they now sit in senior positions. And so this is definitely an awesome way to allow persons to enter and really whet their appetite in relation to the profession. And we also have the teacher recruit portion of the Let's Teach VI program. These are associate or undergraduate degree holders in content areas, so mathematics, business, language, and so forth. And so with the content degree, what we do is we say, yes, you can come teach in the Virgin Islands, but simultaneously you are automatically enrolled, which has already kicked off in the H. Lavisseau Community College, ultimately pursuing a certificate of achievement in education. So historically, due to challenges in terms of teacher recruitment, you may have had to hire individuals who are only content only trained. What we're saying is we cannot do that any longer, because the pedagogy, the implementation of teaching and learning is extremely important. So we have persons with content degrees, and for the first time, simultaneously, the ministry has enrolled those individuals in a course at HLSCC where they're learning as they are teaching, and ultimately they will become a qualified teacher at the end of the program.
The ministry is also engaged in an effective leadership training program, which is another initiative that allows teachers to receive training in leadership skills.
We have a cohort of teachers who are interested in leadership. And so because they have expressed that through the H. Lavisseau Community College's Institute of Education, this cohort of teachers is engaging in a training program where they have the ability to learn leadership skills. They have to do various projects and engage in various activities throughout this period of time to ultimately come out at the end of it with a certificate in leadership. And so it speaks to us ensuring that there is progression in education. We're saying you can come in as a teacher, you can come in as a teacher trainee or a recruit, but there's mobility. You can move up in the profession, but in order to do that, of course, you have to get the relevant qualifications and expertise to be able to go to the next level. And so I'm happy that so many teachers have shown interest across our sister islands, as well as the main island of Tortola, and they're enrolled in the program. The program is going well, and we look forward to seeing them come out at the end of it with added qualifications.
The Ministry of Education launched the STEAM Education Project in September. STEAM is an embodiment of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. This program was launched in partnership with UNESCO as the ministry moves to ensure that there is inclusive and equitable education and the fostering of innovation and infrastructure essential for sustainable development.
So the STEAM Innovations course was introduced in September this new school year at the Elmhurstown High School and all secondary schools from grade 7 to grade 9 to really introduce programming, coding, robotics, AI to all students. We believe that digital literacy is critical to our students being able to effectively participate in the world in terms of their potential job opportunities and career paths. Digital literacy and digital skills is top of the list when you consider what employees are looking for, and it's really because of where the world, not where it's going, but where it already is in terms of the digital landscape. And so we want our students within the school system, within the curriculum, within the hours that are allocated to us for teaching and learning to be able to engage with this type of material. So for 3 hours a week, our students engage in STEAM innovations. It has been amazing. Our students have been coding robots. They've been building them from scratch, coding them to do various things, and we've seen the excitement and the engagement. It's not chalk and talk. It's experiential learning, it's project-based learning. The best way for children to learn is by doing. And so this class is our way in the ministry of showing what we mean when we say reimagine education. We're saying that children will be engaged in groups, they'll be collaborating, they'll be innovating, they'll be creating, and they'll be problem solving and thinking critically, because ultimately, consider that you have a box full of Lego pieces, motors, wheels, and so forth. And these students must ensure that through instructions, they'll be able to build a robot. But beyond that, because of what the robot is able to do, students are then asked to build their own robot to ultimately reach the same result. And they're doing it, they're enjoying it, and we look forward to seeing the continued success of it.
A team of 4 students participated in the annual International Global Robotics Challenge in October in Singapore, hosted by First Global, a US-based not-for-profit charity with a mission to inspire leadership and innovation in youth from all nations by empowerment through science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM. The team was selected following a robotics workshop held in September.
These students were able to build a robot in a matter of weeks. They had limited time, but they worked extremely hard into the wee hours of the night to be able to go and compete and fly the BVI flag and represent us well. I have to give kudos to those amazing students and teachers, as well as the education officers who supported them in this regard. Seeing the reality on the ground in Singapore really told us that we are on the right track. One of the things that was highlighted to us over and over, just being present as Minister of Education and actually seeing and engaging with it firsthand. Numerous countries would have stated that they wish their minister was there. And one of the things that we can boast really is that when we speak about STEAM, when we speak about robotics and coding and engineering, usually contextually it is non-profit organizations, after-school programs and clubs that push this agenda in other countries in the region. One of the things that was highlighted to us that we were applauded for is the fact that the Ministry of Education, the government in the Virgin Islands, are the ones who are moving full steam ahead, we are the ones introducing robotics and coding in our curriculum. And so that really spoke volumes to us, and it really reassured us that we are moving full steam ahead and we are on the right path. And I just want to encourage the students who are currently in the STEAM Innovations course, because we will now have hundreds of individual students in our community who could compete to be in a position to go to the next Force Global Challenge next year. And so I believe we are truly on the right path, and I look forward to seeing what comes next for those students who went to Singapore and the ones who in the future will represent the Virgin Islands at the Force Global Challenge.
The government of the Virgin Islands is committed to providing infrastructure, from the physical structures to the technological backbone that facilitates modern teaching methods. The Elmo Stout High School redevelopment project was completed and saw the return of full-day school for students since the hurricanes of 2017. A primary school on the sister island of Jos Van Dyke is nearing completion, while construction of a school specifically designed for the inclusion of differently able students has also recently begun and has been identified as one of the few of its kind in the region.
I mean, I'm so proud and happy to see that the groundbreaking and the construction period has started for the Eslin Henley Richer Learning Center. It did have some delays, but truly to see it reach to the point where it is, it speaks to the resilience and the dedication of the government to ensure that our special needs students are in a dedicated space that speaks to their needs, that has the equipment that they need in order to function and have equity in our school system. And so I'm elated that we will be having this institution come to life, and as we understand it from the ceremony, truly it will be one of the most spectacular purpose-built facilities in the region as it relates to special ed. Most buildings are usually reformed and retrofitted, but this is being built from the ground up to ensure that our special needs students, we did much stakeholder consultation to ensure that everything that is needed in the building is there, and I'm happy that we are well on our way, and months from now we'll be able to stand and dedicate that school to the benefit of the students of the Eslin Henley Richer Learning Center.
The Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, which serves 16 countries including the Virgin Islands, recently observed its 50th anniversary. The Virgin Islands was a member from inception and has served the regional institution in the role of the deputy chair for the past 9 years. Minister Castro spoke about the territory's performance at the council's examinations.
So the CXC results annually showcase the context of the Virgin Islands regionally in terms of how we compete, how we stack up against the rest of the region. And our students have been doing well. The results are extensive because there are various subjects, and we ultimately use the results to be able to see and understand the potential areas that we must improve in. And an example of that, as stated in the House, would be the area of mathematics. For a few years, we've seen some challenges with mathematics in the territory, and it speaks to two realities: the hurricanes of 2017 and the pandemic that would have ultimately restricted in-person learning, which is very critical in the subject of mathematics based on the type of skills that must be developed. And so we in the ministry have responded based on the results that we have seen, and we've done a number of things to shore up the capacity of our mathematics subject offerings in our schools. And so as an example, we've ensured that we engaged professional development at all our schools through our subject officers and exam officer to ensure that our teachers get support in terms of varying instructional methods that would assist in terms of students being able to capture the content and the skills necessary to be able to execute. We've also ensured that through the court process, we've created 2 new positions, instructional coaches specific to mathematics. These individuals will be able to go into schools and really focus in on maths instruction, be able to support general education teachers in terms of the various ways that they can integrate and be able to differentiate mathematics so that we capture students at all levels and we're able to remediate and intervene through strategic plans that they will have to develop for individual students that show that they have challenges, and really be able to support the system to be able to increase the mathematic capabilities of our students. We've also seeking to create a math revitalization committee in short order with stakeholders, teachers that are experts in the field, to seek and ensuring that we have immediate action and strategies to be able to support our education system in this regard. And so overall, there are varying methods that we seek to continue to use. Results are important. Data is important to be able to really effect the change based on the challenges that you are having. And so through the CXC results, through the key stage results, even locally, we're able to use that data to then be able to give us the mandate moving forward in terms of the areas that we must adjust and adapt to be able to meet the needs of our students.
The ministry has also signed on to the OECS Pearl project, which deals with the organizing of the curriculum on a regional level. The redevelopment of the curriculum, according to the minister, is central to redeveloping education.
Is the first step in ensuring that our students have access to the type of instruction that we believe is necessary to build the type of skills that are ultimately important in them being able to transition through their school years and ultimately into the world of work. So when we speak about curriculum development and the role of ensuring that the curriculum that we teach in the classroom is relevant, it's flexible, the students can bring meaning to it in the real world setting. How does the math concept that I'm learning actually apply to the real world? And so we're looking at ensuring that we reconstruct and redevelop the curriculum so that it actually meets the needs of our students and ultimately the economy based on the skill sets that we need to engender in our schools.
Also, as part of the OECS project, there are 8 writers from the Virgin Islands who are engaged in the project.
And so every country has put forward our representatives to be a part of the writers team. Curriculum is really about writing, redeveloping and engaging to then be able to produce the instruction in the classroom. So huge focus has been played on that regionally, and the BVI is doing its part, not just in our local context, but regionally to show up the regional OECS Pearl project.
The government of the Virgin Islands is also working to upgrade and upscale the territory's recreational facilities to be enjoyed by residents. The Recreational Trust in the Ministry of Education is responsible for allocating these facilities and have concerns addressed.
So the Recreational Trust is the body in the ministry that really seeks to address recreational facilities, and through their budget allocation as well as through partnership with private sector businesses, they've been able to address some concerns that have been raised by our stakeholders in sports. And so that is very instrumental and key as we seek to advance sports. The facilities must be up to date, and we are currently working on a plan to ensure that moving forward, we strategically seek to upgrade and upscale our recreational facilities across the territory.
As the government continued its work in the advancement of education in the territory, facilities including libraries are being upgraded and enhanced. Honourable Castro said the H. Laverty Stout Community College is also one of the institutions that is fulfilling its mandate to further enhance education in the Virgin Islands.
I've been extremely happy as minister and as an alumna of the H. Laverty Stout Community College to see the tremendous efforts that have been ongoing at that institution. During the fall semester, 672 students are enrolled in the certificate and associate degree programs. And critical to those numbers, we also had 77 high school students who dually enrolled at the college. This is by far the largest number of high school students that we've had engage in this dual enrollment, and it speaks to the readiness of our students to be able to engage in community college earlier, because these are high school students who are dually enrolled, taking their college courses while still in high school, and 77 students across our territory have achieved that feat this semester.
The Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports remains committed to youth and sports development and the nurturing sporting talents and promoting physical well-being among the youth of the Virgin Islands. The ministry also stands resolute in its mandate to move Virgin Islands education full steam ahead by ensuring that students have access to the skills critical for innovation in the present and future, while embracing their cultural heritage.